Alright, so I will be going over a couple interesting facts about mono. And one is that most adults actually carry an antibody against EBV in their blood, meaning that at some point in their life they've become infected with that virus. And once a person is infected with EBV, he or she is immune and they will not contract mono again. And a rare complication is that with that is that your spleen can burst, and this happens about 1 to 2 times per 1,000 cases. Death from mononucleosis is very rare and usually occurs due to splenic rupture. So once again, it's very rare, especially here in the United States, but it can happen. So it's just something to look out for if you do have mono. Some more interesting facts is that mono is not spread through respiratory droplets. So you can live with someone who has mono and not become infected, just as well as you can sit next to someone in class, you can be friends with someone, you can go to the grocery store with someone. Just because you're breathing by them or you're sitting by them does not mean that you will get mono. It has to be through saliva or other methods like that of what Brendan talked about a couple minutes ago. So it's not spread through respiratory droplets. And the people that usually get mono the most are college students, nurses, and people in the military. And this has to do with their environment, and I will go into that a little bit further in the next slide. So incidences of mono. Over 95% of adults worldwide have been infected with the EBV virus. And this is just going back to what I talked about 2 slides ago, and also what Sarah talked about at the beginning of this video. Even if you've never contracted mono before, you think you have it, you might actually have, and I, along with Sarah, also experienced this. My roommate last semester contracted mono. And about a week or 2 after she found out that she had mono, 2 of our other roommates went and got tested, and they had mono. And I was feeling the same exact way that they did, so I figured I would go get checked out as well. And thankfully, I didn't have mono. I actually had pneumonia, but I was around a lot of people in high school who actually contracted mono, and this was the same time period that the swine flu was going around. So there was mono and the swine flu, so I was really careful with the people that I was around, and I was on a lot of sports teams, and so everyone at practice would always just drink out of people's water bottles. They didn't really care what was going on, and I made sure that I always kept my stuff away from everyone else's because I did not want to experience what everyone else was experiencing. But 95% of us actually do have that virus. And in developing countries, 80% to 100% of children come in contact with EBV by the age of 6. And this just has to do with their environment, the way that they live, their lifestyle. They also might not have the tools or the resources to have proper hygiene and to stay clean. And that is really an issue in those kind of those countries. And they also might not even know that about proper hygiene. They might not know that it's not good to drink out of someone else's glass or use their utensils. They might not know about all these diseases, so that's also an issue in those countries. In higher socioeconomic groups, only 50% of children come in contact with EBV between the ages of 1 and 5, so we're getting a little bit better. And then the highest incidence of symptoms occur between the ages of 15 and 24. And this just goes back to what I was saying with the nurses and the college students, and even military, they all fall between these 2 age groups. So it's just kind of interesting to look at. And overall, the incidences in the United States is roughly 500 cases per 100,000 cases per person. And so we're actually really low with the cases in the United States, but it is an issue, and it is something that we need to be worried about. So just make sure that you're taking care of yourself and be aware of your surroundings so that you don't come in contact with mono. And these are our resources.